Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for stopping by the channel. So for this video, we're going to be featuring a brand that probably makes some of the most robust cases and bracelets when it comes to durability and scratch resistance, and that is the German brand Damasko. All of their cases are made of ice-hardened steel. In fact, they used to make bracelets for the likes of Zinn as well, so you know they mean business. And on the wrist today, we have the Damasko DK11. This watch is special because not only do you get the case, but you have their in-house bracelet that is also ice hardened, and it even comes with their own in-house caliber as well. So we're not using a specific ETA movement for this. This one is a Damasko movement that they've improved upon in terms of anti-magnetic properties and shock resistance. So why don't we flip the camera around now and you guys can take a close-up look at the Damasko DK11 in the studio. So now that we're in the studio, we can take a closer look at this Damasko DK11. And what I'd like to do is give you a quick overview for the dimensions, as well as the special characteristics and design of this particular timepiece. And then I'll give you my overall thoughts and potential points for improvement. Starting with the dimensions, it is a fairly big watch. It's a 42mm case diameter on paper, but the bezel does actually overhang the case ever so slightly, making it closer to about 43.3mm in overall diameter. In terms of thickness, it's 14.2mm from the bottom of a screwed down and exhibition case back, which mind you, you don't often get for Damasko watches, but then also to the top of a flat sapphire crystal, which has anti-reflective treatment on both sides, so legibility is extremely high on the face for this watch. Now, the lug-to-lug dimensions is right around 50mm, but if you account for their OEM bracelet, the first end links on either side does extend the lug-to-lug ever so slightly, but between the lugs is an even 22mm, so if you don't like the supplied bracelet, you can easily throw this guy on a strap. However, I will say that if you want an ultimate bomb-proof watch, you're going to be wearing it in combination with the bracelet. It is quite hefty. The head of the watch alone is 92 grams, and when you combine it with the bracelet, depending on how you size it, it's around another 90 grams. On my 7.5-inch wrist, I do find that this watch sits very well and quite comfortable for what it is. But the bracelet doesn't really have any half links or micro adjustment on it, so dialing in for the perfect fit might be a bit challenging on a bracelet. Now, something you don't see on a lot of Damasko models is the SI in red print on the dial, which is indicative of a silicone escapement wheel, and that's integrated into the in-house Damasko A35-1 automatic movement. This pivots on 23 joules, has a 4 Hz beat frequency, about a 52-hour power reserve, and they do regulate this movement in 5 positions. Additionally, because of a silicone escapement wheel and some other technology, like having some improved ball bearings on the rotor weight, it's shockproof according to the German DIN standard 8308, and also anti-magnetic according to DIN A309. Now, on top of all this, in terms of the case, you're getting a lot of the patented Damasko technology. Of course, ice-hardened steel is essentially nickel-free and very corrosion-resistant, as well as being about 5 times harder than normal stainless steel. And of course, their crowns are very smooth to wind and self-lubricating. And the crown is, of course, screwed down, so you're getting a 100-meter water-resistant timepiece with this particular watch. In terms of a dial, it's a no-nonsense German dial in terms of a pilot styles watch, so you do have a triangle at the 12 o'clock position and then bold Arabic numerals for the remaining hour markers from 1 to 11. I like the inclusion of a day and date complication that's offset just below the 3 o'clock position, and then right above that is the Damasko branding. What's really cool is that not only are you getting high contrast with black printing on a white dial, that white dial surface is completely luminous. So they use, I believe it's Swiss Superluminova on the dial itself, and all that black printing on the dial and the black handset make it contrast very well under low lighting conditions. And I'll throw up a low light shot just to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But this thing absolutely glows like a torch. And there's also a luminous pearl on the 12 o'clock bezel index. Now in terms of the bezel, it has some of the best action you're going to find within the $2,000 to $3,000 price point, which is typically where this watch is positioned. The bezel itself pivots on ceramic ball bearings. It's a 60 click bi-directional bezel with a countdown timer on it, and the bezel is fully indexed as well for easy reading of that countdown function. So taken together, you're essentially getting a bomb-proof watch when you combine the head of the watch with the stainless steel bracelet. If you do want something more casual, I do find it nice to put straps on this particular timepiece. In terms of potential points for improvement, I will say that this watch is a little thick for what it is. If, for example, you found a similar branded Damasko with an off-the-shelf ETA movement, you would easily shave a couple of millimeters off of the overall height. And I do think that they can probably refine their in-house movement to make it slightly thinner. And then the only other terms of improvement I can see is when you're talking about the bracelet end links and how the bracelet actually attaches to the head of the watch. Because everything is ice hardened except for the spring bars that hold the bracelet to the watch head, that's probably going to be your point of failure. I found that these spring bars were very thin and they didn't hold the bracelet too secure to the head of the watch. In fact, those first end links kind of pivoted around a fair bit when you put a bit of force on them. So I'd like to see them have better bracelet fitment and more robust spring bars moving forward, maybe even adding drilled lug holes so it is easier to get in there if you need to extract a spring bar if there is some sort of failure. But overall, I really enjoy this timepiece. I think it's definitely over-engineered. It's not going to be as versatile as some other watches that you might have in your collection, but if you really just want a true GADA timepiece, I highly suggest you check out the Damasko DK11 if you get the chance. Now, if you do enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and also please let me know your thoughts about this watch in the comment section of the video. That's going to wrap up this one, and I can't wait to catch you guys in the next review.